Hello, 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 and welcome to Tarot Spills the Tea. This is a tarot reading that will expose what EVELYN LOZADA was asked to do that caused her to run for the hills. This is the runner's edition, so there will be a shadow self revealed with clarifiers this time. And this time I go ahead and use my ultimate clarifiers deck, which is always fun for me, okay? Because my clarifiers deck, my ultimate clarifiers deck that I channeled the angels on and designed, it's unique, to say the least. So it's always interesting when I pull that deck out. And on Miss Lozada, I wanted to. I really did. Because I wanted to dig into that. I was going to say that big forehead of hers and just find out, what she was thinking so far as the real reason she's running and not returning. So they are divided, I can tell you that much. Let's dive in. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Indigo Sage, an awakened soul. I do have a spiritual website at unapologeticallysage.com. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook under Unapologetically Sage. Now let's begin to sage this all the way out, okay? So here's just the most basic backstory, just to refresh our memory. So on the left, we have OG. On the right, we have, I'm announcing it like they're in the ring, a boxing ring. But on the left, we have OG. And on the right, we have Evelyn, the runner. Although it's reported that neither one of them will be back. So OG accused Evelyn of being a colorist. Evelyn accused OG for using this as a storyline. Evelyn filed a lawsuit against OG for defamation of character. Then both of them came back for a very, very short season after that. I think it was only 8 shows, which were lackluster. Okay. So, you know what? I'm not even getting ready. I was getting ready to go into a full-on recap. That ain't what we're here for today. Today, we are diving into Evelyn running. Why is she running? So, 2 things I need to say. With the Runner's Edition, I am going to be using the this different deck that will expose the shadow side. And just a fair warning, it may be gruesome to some, the image. However, I'm going to say on this one, I don't feel like it's gruesome at all. But I just like to give that as a blanket warning, all right? Secondly, I would like to ask you guys to guide your beautiful eyes to the bottom of your screen, no matter what screen you are watching this on, whether it be an iPhone, iPad, anything. Guide your eyes, whether it be an Android, tablet, notebook, television set. Guide your eyes to the bottom of the screen. Look at that red bar. That red bar says, for entertainment purposes only, and every single word is alleged and not to be used as facts. Anytime you see that red bar at the bottom, please apply the sentence inside because it applies. All right, now let's get serious and sage this out, okay? So as I said earlier, I did do a clarifier for all of the cards, and honestly, all of them were in the reverse, except for one position. It is always interesting to me, really, really interesting and peculiar to me when all cards are in reverse except one. But it's funny because vice versa, it's not peculiar and it's not interesting when all cards are upright except one. But when all cards are in reverse except one, I'm always, give a little extra attention to that card's placement. So anyway, we'll get into that when the time comes. So here's something else I got to point out to you guys, and this happened recently in another reading. This energy card jumped out and demanded to go first. Now, when that happens, it just means that it's like strong, because I always give you guys an energy card, even though a lot of tarot readers don't, but we still look at it. I like to give the energy card anyway, because the energy card is the influence, what influenced the rest of the cards to come out the way that they did and in the position that they did. So it's really important. Not necessarily important to the querent, but I like to break it down and explain it to where you guys understand we're all on the same page and we're all taking the same journey together. So, and I like to be transparent and just include everything. So anyway, this energy card, which like I said, I usually save till the end, it was so strong and tough. It needed to be at the beginning. It was the reversed justice. Okay. The reverse justice card. What Evelyn's energy is giving off so far as why she was running and the energy influence for all of this. Internally, she knows she's done something that isn't morally right. She chose between hiding it and hoping no one finds out, or owning up to her mistakes and taking a focused action to resolve the situation. Now, it's funny because I broke out my cards and, was doing this reading, and when this popped out and demanded, to go first and everything, and I was looking at it, I was like, oh, what? At first, I'm going to be honest. I was like, what did she do? I'm going to be honest, y'all. I had completely forgot all about that colorism stuff until this card showed up first, demanding to have all the attention in the room. And I'm like, what did she do? Just because, like I said, last season was lackluster. They didn't even have a reunion. They had 8 episodes, no reunion. The women all stayed in 2 different houses, didn't even interact with each other. Evelyn stood, she played a good joke on, I was going to say stood up, but played a good joke on Phoebe. Had Phoebe come down to an empty house. What the heck was all of that? It was just ridiculous, dumb. And so I didn't keep it registered in my mind. I just knew, let me see why she running. That's just where my mind was. So when this card popped up, I was like, what did she do? And then I was like, oh, okay, girl. I remember what you did. I got you. So let's look at the clarifier. So again, the justice card for the energy influence is reverse justice. And it's funny because a lot of times when it shows up like that, that means that person, the querent, that person feels like injustice was done to them, like something bad was done to them. So that's kind of how I thought that was going to turn out for her, which is part of the reason why I was confused. Like, well, who did something to you? And then channeling spirit more, I was like, oh, you've done something bad. Okay. So, okay. And you're aware. And so your energy is on deciding whether or not you're gonna sweep it under the rug or own up to it and make, actions to fix it. Okay, that's what you serving up. Okay, girl. So the clarifiers, 2 cards, clarifiers, all of them has 2. I think 2 may have 3, but anyway, doomed. And again, this is my personal deck. Doomed. And it was in reverse. She feels it's an ultimate failure and cannot be saved. Reverse says that most likely she won't take action to save it. And we already know she didn't because she ran away. The second card is the word love and the symbol, the ampersand, which is the and symbol. And love is split down the middle, like it's cut. All right. And this card was in reverse. And it says love is broken and there is more to the story, which is why there's that ampersand. So with there being more to the story, this is one that has another clarifier. And it is, the other one that came out was hang up the phone. And that was funny. That was funny to me. She looks like the type that would hang up the phone on somebody. She really do. But that's not what the card is saying. That's not what the card is saying. The card ain't saying she be hanging up on folks. So the message in this card is saying that she is disconnected from the gravity of the accusation and the situation, the depth of it. She, unfortunately, doesn't see it as a big deal. All right? And the bad thing about this is she has yes people. You know, those people like around her that agrees with whatever she says. So she already doesn't see this as a big deal. And you know what? Let me put it like this. She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand. And she's disconnected from it. So much so to where it's not even like she's trying, which is disappointing. You know, because any one of us walking this earth can hurt anyone's feelings. And to me, if you're a good human being, you're going to try to figure out what did I say or do to hurt your feelings if you don't understand. You know, I've been in situations where someone acted like they were hurt by something I said and I didn't understand why, but I decided to try to understand. She doesn't understand and she's not trying to. So that's what's effed up about that. She's not trying to. And what's even more effed up is that there's people around her that is pumping her head up, telling her that she didn't do anything wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So and the thing about it is that with her not having personal experience with what OG is saying, she's unable to connect with that. And there's nothing wrong with that in it of itself. Like I said, the issue is that she's overlooking that she's hurt someone's feelings and she's not even trying to dive in to find out how did I hurt your feelings? That's the effed up part. But anyway, so that energy right there is the influence for her decision to run for the hills. Okay, let's continue. So in the past position, we have the reversed 3 of Swords. She regrets that her past actions have presented challenges in her current relationships. One of the main messages for the reversed 3 of Swords in this past position is never be afraid to say you're sorry. This is someone who, you know, knows that they've hurt someone or they've done something bad, okay? And they're not gonna say sorry. And actually, like they're saying they're afraid to say sorry. So let's continue. And real quick, I want to point out that, like I always say, what's in the past position is very important because this is the energy and this is the card and the thought of the state of mind that influences the decision. Okay, it influences the present card. So that's why the past is very important. So the clarifiers for the past, honey, honey, honey. The answer is no. Okay. And the card itself is a hard and firm no. Let me tell you something. The card itself says, and by ever, I mean never, ever, ever. The answer is no. So that in itself is a hard, firm no. It was in reverse, which is times 10. This woman is so against apologizing that energy was ridiculous and just sad, to be honest. The other clarifier was unhealthy overindulgence. This means she becomes defensive when confronted. Okay? And it also means that a person goes the extra mile instead of letting something go. That's unhealthy. Unhealthy overindulgence. So what first popped in my mind with that going the extra mile instead of letting something go, honey? Her when she was getting into it with OG, honey, I was about to say OJ. She don't want to get into it with OJ. When she was getting into it with OG, she went the extra mile by contacting Chad and getting him to forward text messages to her so that she can put them in OG's face. That was ridiculous and unnecessary. She went the extra mile by filing a lawsuit. She went the extra mile by quitting the show. So this is examples of why the unhealthy overindulgence card came in as a clarifier, saying that, she becomes defensive when confronted. And again, you guys, this is attached. This is clarifying her, the card is saying she should apologize. And she's saying no, a hard and firm no. And then she goes an extra mile. Like, she's like, oh, not only am I not going to apologize, but I'm also going to sue you. I'm also going to do this. I'm also going to do this. So let's go on to the present. Alrighty. And what we will find is that there's 3 cards that suggest an apology is needed. Okay. That energy was so strong. This is number 2. In the present position, we have the King of Cups reversed. The King of Cups was reversed. And it says, lacking emotional maturity, an apology for past actions is needed. Yet, she chooses to leave. Okay, and the clarifiers for the present position. And remember, you guys, the present position is speaking directly to her reasons for running. And in this session, her reasons for quitting the show. Clarifier is time to step your game up. And that was in reverse. And it means an ultimatum was given. Second card for clarifying is money and career elevate now. Money making opportunity is presenting itself. Okay, so here's the thing. All right, because I was like, ooh, I see you for your works, girl. I see you for your works, girl. So at first, with the ultimatum given, at first, I was like, who's giving it to who? But ultimately, by doing, this, seeing all the cards, I believe the producers are giving her an ultimatum. And I'm going to tell you what that ultimatum is, because I've felt it already. They want her to apologize. Is that a big shock? They want her to apologize. But here's the thing, though. Like, a sincere apology. They wanted her to, and this is all alleged, okay? Alleged. But Spirit showed me very clearly that her storyline, they wanted her storyline to be like she went to therapy, and did a whole, like, she's a whole new person. And a part of that is, which, first of all, that sounds familiar to me. Like she's been on I can never say her name right, Iyanla Vanzant. All right, but that's not what they were saying. They wasn't saying like go back on Iyanla. First of all, I think she's done. She did her seasons, but they wanted her to have, her storyline was supposed to be, therapy, whatever, and a new person, and stop and Spirit is showing me stop and smell the roses, just peace, like a peaceful person, who does meditation and yoga and all that kind of stuff. Which doesn't mean, hold on, because I know how that sounds. It doesn't mean that just because if someone does meditation and yoga that they are a peaceful person. Okay. But you guys get what I'm saying, I'm sure. That is what they wanted her to do. And they wanted her to express remorse for her actions and express her understanding of it, and to be extremely apologetic about it. And Spirit is saying making amends. Ooh wee. Okay, so Spirit is now saying she felt like that. Oh gosh. Okay, so they're rushing with a lot of stuff, but kissing ass. See, the problem goes back to her not understanding colorism. And I'm not saying I'm an expert on it. I'm just reading the cards. Like I always say, I'm just reading the cards. The cards or the quartz. I'm just reading the cards. She doesn't have an understanding of it, the issue and the depth of it, and she doesn't want to. So them coming to her, telling her, giving her the ultimatum, this is what you need to do. If you want to hold your position and hold your pay on this here show, this is what you need to do. And that's why this is all in the present. This had to do with her decision to run. She's not going to do that. Now, the money making opportunity presenting itself, that was in the upright. And the reason why that's significant is because she feels like in her mind, if she, gosh, how can I say this? She feels like if she apologizes and does all of that, everything I just said, that it's going to F with her money. Meaning, future-wise, any entrepreneurship jobs or endorsements, like she feels like she'll be labeled as problematic, a racist, or prejudice, or a colorist, classist, all the names, and all this is alleged, but everything that is wrong with society, basically. And she feels like if she's labeled that way, like if she says sorry and does everything that the producers were saying that she needed to do, she's going to be labeled that way, and ain't nobody going to want to work with her, basically. Just to wrap it up, ain't nobody going to want to work with her. That's how she sees it. And so she was standing strong on that. So next up, we have the best. What she viewed to be the best of her running, hop, skipping, and jumping away from the show. In the best position, this was the only one that was upright. Honey, Queen of Pentacles, get into it. And that is no surprise. Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful card. Beautiful card. Lovely card. Lovely card. Queen of Pentacles, upright, in the best position. So this already relates to what I just said, which was she felt like there would be, all of that confessing and saying I'm wrong and will you please forgive me, that was gonna taint her image and mess with her money-making skills as far as it pertains to the future. So basically, she had to figure out, like, is it worth it? Like, how much money am I going to be making here versus how much I could be making? Like, if this messes me up, like, she felt like y'all not even, like, paying me enough. So, but the ultimatum came from them because they were like, check this out. You're going to do this in order to get paid the same of what you was getting paid. Otherwise, you can reduce yourself to, I guess the friends of the show. I don't know. But what she saw as the best of hop, skipping, and running and jumping away from the show was she will not settle for any less than what she feels she deserves. For her, it is either the best of the best or nothing. So that ties into, and sometimes, you guys, I see the card and I just go into reading it and I forget about starting with my summary first, so forgive me on that. But this ties into everything I just now said, because she sees her earning potential to be way more than what they were going to pay her for to do all of that, that which she apparently does not get anyway in the first place. Plus, like I said earlier, she got folks telling her that she's right, so that doesn't help. She got those yes people around her. Continuing. Okay, so at the clarifiers for the best, what she saw as the best, the first one up is gift under $20. That was in reverse. Okay. This is Miss Ev saying hail to the now, to the now, which relates to, this card saying she's not going to accept anything less than the best of what the best of what the best is that she feels like she deserves. So she feels like she won't get what's promised in the end. That part was interesting because this card also says that, someone's painting a picture and it has to do with money. She just doesn't feel like, not that she feels like they won't pay her for her time on the show. It's not that. It's just that it's not worth it. Okay. They, I'm sure, painted a picture of this is redemption. That's the word that they were telling, like redemption. Okay. So they're painting that picture for her. Like, you should do this. This is good. This is actually good for your career. It's redemption. You're already tainted. She sent an emoji on social media of OG, referring to OG and put a monkey. So they're like, you're already messed up. Your image is already messed up. People already see you as a colorist. So this is redemption. That's what they're painting. And she doesn't feel like that's what she'll get in the end. And she's thinking about money. It's in the terms of money. Like I just said, she feels like it's going to affect her future money. And it's just not worth it. The second one was very interesting. It's major breakthrough. Your face only fresher. Again, that goes with exactly what I just said. They're like, oh, no. This is going to be great. This is redemption for you. That was in reverse. But check this all the way out. You receive clarity on something you've been waiting for. This clarity brings relief, not so much for the actual news, but for the fact that now you know. You are no longer bewildered, and that in itself makes you feel good. She was held in suspense. She was held in suspense. Here enters her good friend, Shawnee O'Neal. Allegedly, all this alleged. Okay. She's asking her homegirl, what's up? Are we going to come back for another season? What is the season going to look like? What's going on? Who's all returning? What's going on? Shawnee never gave her a straight answer. Evelyn was feeling funny, not knowing what they had up their sleeve because Shawnee wouldn't give her a straight answer. Allegedly. I'm just talking about what Spirit is telling me. Shawnee wouldn't give her a straight answer, and Evelyn was feeling weird about it. And so this card saying that clarity brings relief, but it's not for what her clarity is. It's just for the fact that she's no longer bewildered and she's no longer confused. So that feels good. Continuing. Okay, you guys. Just to let you know, we do have several cards coming up. The very next card coming up is what's in the worst position and what's to come for her, then her shadow self. But right here, right now, this is just a little break just to show what one of her side hustles is, okay? And I was going to say what type of person she is, but I'm not dissing her. You know what? I read something 5 minutes before I did this reading that said she was the fan favorite. I was like, okay. I don't have a feeling either way. I'm pretty neutral when it comes to these reality characters, but I thought this was so interesting. Evelyn has something called a foot journey on OnlyFans. Okay? For only $24.99, you can bask in the glow of Evelyn's feet. Okay? While you're taking in this information, please click like and subscribe. Okay? And click that bell and share. Do all of that. Share some of this nonsense. Okay? I wonder how much she making on is that. I might have to do OnlyFans and show my feet. I've been told I had pretty feet. Now that was 20 years ago, but they don't look bad. $24.99, I believe, per month. You can look at her feet. This is one of her feet pictures. And allegedly, but it's not alleged. Not that I know. I ain't been on there. But so here's my question. So this is after she talked about a castmate's toes being longer than a CVS receipt hanging over the shoe, which they cut to the photo where OG's manicured toe was surely hanging over the shoe like it was hang gliding. Okay? It was hang gliding and sliding. It was manicured, had a little pedicure on it, but it was gone. It was like it was trying to escape. Okay? So my question is she being messy or no? How you gonna make a feet account or whatever after you diss somebody's feet and they get so like OG was upset, which actually I thought that was BS. OG tried to make a big deal like, why are you talking about my feet? Girl, first of all, it was hang gliding over the edge. It was looking like it was on suicide, like it needed to be on suicide watch. Okay? It was just hanging over the edge like life was over. That toe. Girl, rescue your own feet. But I was telling my homegirls, if I had saw that, and I get what OG was saying. She was saying she had lotion on her feet. And then she tried to tell her African American women, when we put lotion on our feet, sometimes it does that in the shoe. Don't blame that on African American women because, first of all, I understand what she's saying. But depending on what oils or lotions, moisturizers, Vaseline, depending on what you put on your feet and what surface it's on, any race can slip and slide. It's not a black thing. Slippery toes and slippery shoes is not, that ain't got shit to do with race. Knock it off, OG. But the OG was trying to be funny and poke the bear by implying that she doesn't have any information on African American women. African American women, when we put lotion on our feet, girl, don't put that on African American women. Don't do that. Do not do that. See, I was about to sidetrack because first of all, I understand exactly what she's talking about, and it only had to happen to me one time in my life, and not no more. I choose certain. You got to get certain lotions and certain shoe, and then sometimes if all I have is if I ran out of the other stuff I be using, and all I have is like the slick oily stuff, I lotion up myself hours before I have to put any slippery slick shoes on so that it soaks in. Get into it. Shoot, stop playing with me. You know your situation, so I don't understand why she didn't just take it as a joke. It was funny. You have to be able to laugh at yourself. To me, that wasn't a colorist thing about her toe. Her long toe was not colorist. It wasn't a colorist toe joke. It was just a toe joke. And that's the end of it. It was just a toe joke. Joke about a long toe. That's it. It didn't matter what color that toe was. You can see stuff like that. You can Google it, and there's all kind of races with, falling out of heels. Trying to squeeze their feet into heel. It's not a race thing. So, back to this $24.99 for the feet. I'm like, girl, are you doing this to like take a jab at her because you talked about her feet? And so now you trying to show that, people want to pay $25 a month to look at my feet in your face, and like, that's messy. Who would do that? Why would you do that? And this is the kind of stuff that makes it hard for me to believe that she's a fan favorite. Because you can leave stuff alone. The only thing she fanning is the flames. But, like I said, is she being messy or not? Maybe this is just an innocent side hustle. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody's CVS long receipt toe. I don't know. Continuing. In the worst position for Miss Lozada was 10 of Wands reversed, and it's admitting defeat. That would be worst for her. No surprise there. Let's sage out these clarifiers. Furthermore, the clarifiers, the first card says, do not run. Your shadow will follow you. Man, that was in reverse because we've got a runner. We've got a runner. You're running because once you admit, you have to fix. She doesn't want to do that. Second clarifier is overwhelming expectations. You feel so very exhausted that you have stopped an activity, quit a job, or cut off a person. We already know, because that's all I've been talking about, and all of this, locks in perfectly well, with the puzzle pieces, putting them all together, and we can see the image clearly, more and more clear. So I don't have to repeat everything, but she feels, she's overwhelmed with expectations. That ties directly back to the producers wanting her to come out and be apologetic and, own up to it. But the problem is she don't understand it. And then she got yes people around her. So anyway, what was interesting to me was, so as we know already, she quit a job, stopped an activity, cut off a person. I wonder how close her and Shawnee is right now. I'm just curious. I'm so curious. I'm just curious. Did she cut Shawnee off? Because Shawnee was not up front with the intentions for her to, the conditions and the intentions for her to come back. And that's causing tension. Okay. Here we go at what's to come, and at no surprise, it is also in reverse. It is the Empress, which people, my sages. The Empress is a beautiful card, but it's in reverse. She feels her contribution is unappreciated. So, what's to come? She felt like she was unappreciated at that time when they were telling her what she needed to do, and she felt like it was going to continue to depreciate, if you may. All right. So she just felt like they didn't value her, and was ignoring her contribution to, what made the franchise as big as it is now, which I'm just reading the cards. Don't challenge me and ask me what did she contribute, because I'm not drama, I guess, crawling on tables, or not crawling, but jumping on. I don't know what she contributed, but I'm talking about what she feels. She feels like her contribution is unappreciated, and it was just going to get worse. Like, kind of like that how dare you type of energy is going on. How dare you? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know who I am? Like, how dare you? Runners energy. Okay. Continuing. So the clarifiers for what's to come looks like she is going to not like it. She's going to get a reality check. So first card up as clarifier from my ultimate clarifiers deck is you sucked yourself. Deal with it. And it means you set yourself up to fail. Second card, I love you, but not the way you want me to. This shows up when there is a hard reality that someone must face. This is what's to come. So she's feeling like she was unappreciated. But in reality, I'm sure that they appreciated her just enough. She feels like it's bigger and better things out there. She didn't want to do all of that apology stuff and I'm a better person stuff, because she felt like it was going to taint her. Although they tried to tell her it will just help you, she wasn't falling for it. She wanted to do everything her way. She feels like it's bigger and better things out there. She didn't want that to mess it up. She's going to have a rude awakening. And that's what's to come. Let's dive into her shadow self, okay? This is, let me stop myself and let's just go ahead and dive into it. All right. We are saging out the shadow self of one Miss EVELYN LOZADA. This is on why she's running from the show. So, the shadow self. The shadow is the side of your personality that contains all the parts of yourself that you don't want to admit to having. Self-awareness is the only way to recognize our shadow. Now, understand, as it pertains to this reading, there can be more than one shadow self. But as it pertains to the reading, we are only channeling the one that directly relates to the reason why these people run. Okay? Okay, you guys, here's her shadow card, and it reveals her shadow self, which is what she doesn't want anyone to know. So we got our nerve, don't we? And the shadow self goes deep. So her card is that of the description is a female warrior. And yeah, I can picture Evelyn wearing that. But seriously, it is this me? I cannot recognize myself, as I cannot remember the road that led me here. How can I see the road ahead? But I'm still me. Is she? So, a little bit more from the guide, little details on this card and the emotions behind it is number one is acceptance. It's one of the key words. I don't see her accepting responsibility for harm that she's caused. So this is a prime example of why this is a part of her shadow self. All right, continuing on. Is this me? Can I recognize myself? In my heart, I feel like the high school girl that went to the prom, but truly I am 45. I could see myself as love is the most important thing in my life, but actually I have a very well-paid job that makes me travel, and I sleep alone in hotel rooms. When did I last look at myself in the mirror? Do I like what I am? Make no excuses, because the choices which made what I am is my responsibility. This tells me it's time for her to, bring herself back to reality. She's Spirit is saying visions of grandeur. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. Visions of grandeur or whatever. She does need to look in the mirror. Okay? Which brings me to I did clarification cards on the shadow self too. All right? So let's go there. And isn't it eerie how, it's not eerie because I read cards, I'm a tarot reader, and they are always accurate. But these shadow cards, they are so accurate. Like, it's just a little tiny bit eerie. But I love working with them though. All right, continuing on. And I feel compelled to share something with you guys. When I bought this deck to be used in this way, to reveal people's shadow self, in actuality, I didn't intend on using it, and I have not used it for personal readings. Okay, I am not, here to make anyone face their shadow self. A lot of times, most likely, they're going to deny it and fight it anyway because it's what's denied and hidden and, what people don't want us to see. Originally, I bought this deck just in case there was, a person who, how can I say it? A person who I needed to get to the bottom and see, what their, issue was or something. Something just for me to know in order to be able to communicate better with them. Sometimes if you're not getting along with someone and, you just can't seem to figure out what the problem is, sometimes you got to dive in deep. And so that's what this deck is used for and was originally intended for. So So don't ever think that if you get a personal reading from me, I'm going to be digging deep into your shadow self and we're going to be talking about it. I'm going to answer the question that you ask. Okay? Continuing on. So the clarifiers for this one were very interesting. Mirrors add and spread light wherever they're used. And it's ironic that in the wording of, the background of this card, it talks about looking in the mirror. But I knew before I read that, like, I just do cards first. Before I even read or look at anything, I do cards and get the feeling. And I knew this was a reflection. I knew that the producers were putting a mirror up to her face and she didn't like it. Some people don't like that. Some people don't like that. And the thing is, if she had done the work that they were asking her to do, like the self-work, she would have been okay with that mirror. She would have already put a mirror up to her own self. But they were putting a mirror up to her, and she did not like it. She didn't like it. Now, this card is funny to me. It's funny to me. Angry birds equal a happy boss. It was in reverse. And this is why this deck is personal to me. I know what all of this means. Another person doesn't have to know. I have to know. So let me explain. Angry birds. Sometimes I see a lot of women bickering and fussing as like birds bickering and fussing. And I'm not in a derogatory term. I'm not calling women birds. I'm not. But if you ever watched birds, like I used to go to the park all the time and feed the geese and the ducks little pieces of bread and stuff. But the point is, when they are all like clamoring and fighting, it reminds me of some of these reality shows when they're all clamoring and fighting. And so that's the first thing I think of when I see angry birds equal a happy boss, because in some of these reality shows, the producers, they like it when they're fighting. There has to be some kind of fighting. Like, if you think about it, when was the last time you saw a reality show that featured like 5 or more women, and the women, there's like no fight at all, and it's a quote unquote reality show, but none of them have a fight? Yeah, I can't remember ever. So that's, in short, the formula. This was in reverse, which means that the producers, they don't want this that has to do directly with her. They don't want that anymore. They don't want that. This is just more of the same message over and over and over. They, and maybe they let this go out this long because they planned on her being a star in this coming up season as redeeming herself. Dun, da, 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 and they're going to put a cape on her back and everything, and she's going to be Superwoman and, hook her up to some wires and fly her across the city and shit. She was going to be Superwoman. Just, redeem yourself. Just, da, 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 it's the Evelyn show, And she just wasn't here for it. She wasn't here for it. Spirit says she's over it. The problem is you can't get over it if you don't understand it. And this shadow self reveals that she's still trying to be, in high school. That high school crap. But she knows she needs to look in the mirror and get into the reality of who she's become and work on it. We all have something to work on. So, continuing on. So, in conclusion, oh man, an apology, the official definition, an apology is an expression of sorrow, regret, or remorse. That makes sense to me. But what I do know for sure, is a true queen knows when to be apologetic. No one has to walk through life constantly apologizing. I mean, the name of my website is Unapologetically Sage, okay? But a true queen or king, okay, get into it. True royalty, put it like that, knows when to be apologetic. And I feel like Evelyn missed the mark on this one. I don't know what all they asked her to do. Like, it couldn't have been that bad, but girl, an apology, how they say a picture is worth 1,000 words? A sincere apology can go a long, long way. And it's just disappointing that I can see that she doesn't understand the issue, and that is what made her so resistant. But it's disappointing that she doesn't even care to try to understand. I don't know what, she has something in her that is resisting that part of growth in her life. So who knows how many opportunities she's going to pass up? Who knows how far this is going to go, as in damaging her spirit, because she could grow. She would grow from this, but she's not doing it. So it can, if it's not growing, it's damaging. Because to be stagnant can be damaging as well. Okay, that's a sneaky kind of damage. But anyway, please click like and subscribe and click the bell to be notified for upcoming messages. Because you know what? I'm going to start on the zodiacs. I've been putting it off, but I think I might start on zodiac love. I don't know. I hate it when, like, I see bad messages about love, because if you think I'm long-winded now. Anyway, you guys, thank you for your support and enjoy this upcoming weekend, all right? And wash your hands. Be safe. Bye-bye.